Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shaar Habitachon Live. So we are going to be discussing some amazing things from one of my favorite books called Shaar Habitachon, written by Rabbeinu Pekuda, and we are going to be discussing it in very practical terms. We're going to start off, of course, by saying Tehillim. So if you have tzedakah, please pull out your tzedakah box. And we say, Gedol tzedakah shemikareves ha'geula. Put your coin in. Good morning, Francesca, Lema, and Great Miracles. Sorry, a little internet problem over there. Okay, Yaakov Moshe ben Necha, Yehudis bas Sarah, Yitzchak Moshe ben Rachel Reza, Tzipora Hinda bas Rachel Miriam, Sarah bas Chana, Tzipora Hinda bas Rachel Miriam, we said. Chana Devora bas Golda basa, Menucha bas Emmanuel, Sarah bas Rivka, Yisrael ben Sarah Mindel, Nechamadina bas Esther Hadassah, Henya Tzipora bas Chayu Chevet, and we said Tuvia Moshe ben Peril. If anybody wants to add on Tehillim for anyone that needs Refuah Shalema, we can dedicate this class to them. Welcome everyone. Good morning, Elaine. Good morning, Corinne. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, and Francis. Good morning. Great to see you all. So we're going to start with chapter 20. And while everyone's getting on, something funny with this Facebook page today. I don't know what it is, but if you would like to add on anything that needs to be focused on as we say Tehillim or as we learn, feel free to do so. Lamanatseach mizmor leDavid, Yancha Adonai biyom tzara, Yisagefcha Shem Elohei Yaakov. Yishlach Ezrecha mikodesh u'mitzion Yisadeka, Yiskar kol menchosecha v'lascha yidash nesela. Yiten lecha chavavecha v'chol atzascha yimalei, Nirana b'shuasecha u'v'shem Eloheinu nidgol. Yimalei Adonai kol mashalasecha. Ato yadati ki hoshi Adonai mishicho, Yaneo mishmei kotra b'gvuros yesha yamino. Ela v'recha ve'elo asosam v'anachnu b'shem Adonai Eloheinu naskir. Hema karu v'nafalu v'anachnu kamnu v'nisodad Adonai Hoshia HaMelech Anenu v'yom karenu. So before we get on to the class, tell me, how is everyone feeling? We're between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. How are you feeling now, guys? What's the mood? Anybody want to know? Anybody want to tell me what they're feeling like? How has Yom Tov been for you so far? How's your mood? How is your outlook on the coming new year? Are you feeling grateful? Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling unsure? What is your instinctive feeling about this upcoming year? The new year, Tafshin Pei Beis 5782, and we are now about to get into a brand new year, a year of opportunity, a year of blessings, a year of nachas, a year of gesund, a year of wealth. How are you feeling? What's your instinctive reaction when someone says to you, wishing you a Shana Tova? What's your gut reaction? Put it down here on our comments, or give me a thumbs up to let me know that you are feeling confident and excited and looking forward to another year. We went through a journey together for the past year and a half, and many times when I asked the question, how are you feeling? We had words like despondent, nervous, worried, anxious, challenged, discouraged, right? But we are now getting closer to huge amount of our community being vaccinated. We have very few rates of Baruch Hashem, of ICU and hospitalization. Things are looking up. We're getting into a new year. Hashem is shining his light on us, his countenance. We have opportunities to come to Shul, where I'm sitting right now. Yes, we are socially distanced, but there's still so many more people coming to Shul this year than there was last year. So it's looking good. How are you feeling about the new year? Let me know. Okay. And as we wait for the comments, we're going to get right into it. So I started off with a joke or a comment that was made by a famous scientist, philosopher, biochemist. I mean, his he has an extensive education, and he had so many hats that he wore. But many people would say that Carl Sagan was an atheist. And I did a little Google review yesterday, and sure enough, he is listed as an atheist. But I wanted to start off with a riddle that he asked. He says, what are the instructions for making apple pie from scratch? Okay, so if somebody approached you and said, well, how do you make apple pie from scratch? What would be the first thing that you would recommend? Okay, before I give you Carl Sagan's response. If someone said to you, how do you make apple pie from scratch? What would you say? Most people would say, well, get the apples. Hi, good morning, Becky. Shana tova, gmar chasima tova. You know, you would say, get the apples, dice them, peel them, get the sugar, get the flour, right? But that's not what Carl Sagan said. He said, first we have to create heaven on earth. And I thought, listening to this, Carl Sagan, who is Jewish, born in New York, Brooklyn, as a matter of fact, two very Yiddish parents, you could be sure that he was not an atheist. Because a Jew, no Jew is an atheist. A Jew is maminim b'nei maminim. Every Jew has a connection to Hashem, and deep inside in their pintaliyid, every single Jew believes in God. They'll fight it tooth and nail. They'll persuade anyone they know why it's impossible to believe in God and why you're ridiculous to believe in God, but every single Jew believes in God. It may be covered up, but deep inside, even a philosopher and scientist like Carl Sagan, who actually passed away in 1996, even he was a believer. And how do you know that? Because when asked, how do you make an apple pie from scratch? He says, first you have to create heaven and earth. Meaning that everything comes from God. And that's what Shaar Habitachon is all about. In fact, the chapter that we are going to be hopefully touching today, chapter 3, starts off very, very interestingly. And it says, if a person wants to really, really have trust in God, they have to have 5 concepts that a person must understand properly. And that will give them absolute trust in God. Now, I know that ever since I've been here on Shluchas in Toronto, I've had hundreds and hundreds of people come through, thousands of people come through our doors. And many of them have said, you know, Goldie, I wish I had your trust. In other words, they would love to have trust in Hashem. They see that there's a life that you can lead if you have bitachon in God. So let me ask you, have you ever been asked the question, how do you have so much trust in God? How did you get it? Or were you the one that asked the question, I wish I could have trust in God? Because as we spoke about in the last few weeks, trust in God gives a person something that is the greatest gift before Rosh Hashanah. The gift of menuchas hanefesh. Anybody remember what that means? The gift of peace and tranquility. And I don't mean just peace like living in Canada as opposed to living in Afghanistan. I mean peace of mind. Not having to toss and turn a whole night. Not having to sit and worry anxiously because your spouse didn't come back from work on time. Or your child is going off to university and you are freaking out with nerves. I have so many friends that are living with constant trepidation because they're worried about their child in school. They're worried about their husband at work. They're worried about the parent in South Africa or the parent in Israel. They're worried about their child starting school, finishing school, finding a match. This constant living with worry is not the way a Jew's supposed to live. Do you agree with me? Do you agree that the way a Jew lives is not with anxiety or trepidation? And this is, yeah. I think a lot of people can't get me. I don't know why. Who else is doing that? I don't know. I see Shelly's on. A lot of people are on. Let them Google my name and then they'll find it. I'm so sorry. People are calling over so they can't see the class. Something's wrong with Facebook today. I don't know what it is. Good morning, Shelly. Gemar Chasima Tova. So I'm not sure if you're able to send me feedback here. I'm feeling like there's something very, very strange here. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Anyway, if you can see me, can you give me a thumbs up? If you're able to hear me, can you give me a thumbs up? Oh my gosh, I think a lot of people are not actually watching. Anybody can hear me? Shelly, can you hear me? Okay. It says live. Becky, can you see me? Can you put in the comments if you could see or hear? Just wondering if I should go off and start again. I'm not getting anyone. Anybody? Can no one see or hear? Or maybe you can hear, but you're not able to give feedback. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to finish and I'm going to start again.